Okay, now here's the fun part. All the individual stocks that we make and lose money on, right? We're making a lot more than we're losing. So let's start off with Google. It's one of my big money makers, and I'm grateful for that. All right. So here's Google. I've shown this chart before, but I'm covering it for basic subscribers also, explaining this why I'm so bullish on it. Okay, and still looks constructive. Here's Google's chart. This is the downtrend line. I picked up Google at around, I believe it was around this level, around 520. And I had played it around, I think it was around here. Okay, let's look to see what's going on. I called Google last week. The stock basically looked like it was going to retest the downtrend line. It certainly did. Okay, it broke through the downtrend line, hit, and had drawn this line before. It went up, hit the top of the Bollinger at around 546. Couldn't take the selling pressure on the market. Came straight down, and then recovered 50% of this move down. Okay, so at this point, it's still quite a constructive chart. Little nuances in charts that you should read. Simple stuff. Look at these lines. This is the MACD. The mouth is still open. See? The mouth is open. So it's not crossing over like this. You look at the RSI, still wanting to move up. Look at the OBV, starting to creep up. This, if it hits this level of 547, this congestion area, this is almost like a double top or triple top, whatever. 547, we got open room for Google to move up towards 564, and then 568. Okay, so it's a pattern. You can see it. You guys can clearly see it. There is a multiple head, left shoulder, right shoulders here, possibly come down towards here. Very well, it could hold 525 and still move up. Same stuff happened here. Okay, so just imagine this pattern fully repeating itself. If that's the case, then Google will basically move up to 587. Is that magic? No, it just happens. Then I don't know why patterns happen, but they happen, and I've done very well trading of this stuff. So that's how it works. So short term, we're looking at around 550. Downside, if we break below 530, we are going to come down, test the lower Bollinger down here around 522. Okay, there's a bunch of news catalysts under Google, including their acquisition of Twitch and all kinds of other stuff. Google Plus showing movies, things like that. Read up on it. So there is, wind behind its back. So still like it. Still think that unless the market Nasdaq totally breaks down, we are good for 550, 10 points, and if we break above that, this is a high momentum stock. You can see about 564 and then 569.70. Probably pull back a little bit and then attempt 587. That's a lot when you're playing the options and weekly options on Google. Okay, those are sweet trades. So keep this on your radar. Let's look at FireEye. Interesting story here. I don't really trade this chart much. I looked at it today. I liked it. I played it the other day. Let me put an arrow here. There's a lot of risk that's taken out of FireEye. I've been in trading for a whole bunch of years now. I don't want to overthink things too much. Here's a large chart. The stock's been damaged. The stock used to be $98, overvalued to Kingdom Come, and I wasn't there for this type of run up. I played it here and there, but I never really was there. So it really doesn't matter for me. For me, I'm buying it down here at the lows. This is a weekly chart. All right, so let's keep things in perspective. So FireEye, whatever, you can crunch the numbers, do all the fundamentals, call it overvalued, do whatever. I personally don't really care because what I'm looking at is the pure chart pattern. So on a chart pattern basis, what I'm looking at is, let's look at the daily. On the daily, I'm seeing this basically starting to move up quite rapidly. I know there's a big share lockup coming out tomorrow morning. I believe it's like 80 or 90 million shares. Let's see what happens. I have a bunch of weekly calls, and if it does come down hard, I'm going to buy and add to it. I think it's a great company. I think they know what they're doing. they're catching a lot of Chinese spies, no pun intended, and you know they're doing this stuff, and so that's it. There's a gap here, and the gap is 37. I showed this a few times today. The lower gap is 31. We actually hit that and backed off that because of the pressure in the market. But if you look at this small cup here, measures 31.51 and 26. So that's 5 points, okay? So 31.51 plus 5 points is 36.51. Bingo. That's the upper end of the gap. Simple, huh? And if it breaks above that, then obviously you know these moving averages start turning around. Then we would probably come down and test the 34 at 41, and then we have a large downward sloping moving average at this magenta line, and that's $50.32. Can it happen? Sure can happen. 50 fib retracement is at $61. So whatever the case, your downside here is limited by about 4 or 5 points. Your upside, you got some room to move here. Upside, I would say, is a good solid 6 to 13 points. So if that works, great. If it doesn't, I look like an idiot, and we have stops in place, and we'll protect ourselves. That's FireEye. Let's look at Tesla, big money maker. Done really well with that. Okay, thanks Elon. People who have followed me in Tesla back and forth, they've done well too. So let me draw this parallel line here, create parallel line, and we are here. Oops. Okay, so let's not overanalyze this stock too much here. It's moving between a channel. All right. So unless there's another Tesla burning in front of Capitol Hill, or all kinds of crazy stuff that might happen, I'm starting to see a pattern here, which is exciting. It's slowly developing. If you notice here, the MACDs are starting to cross. We have one single solitary green bar here on the histogram. It generally, when it happens, the last time this happened, okay, it lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It went from around the 197 up to about 218. Well, this time we have a downward sloping channel, so I'm looking at around 208. That's about 13 points. Tesla called it very elastic. They tend to move very well, so you know you can certainly make money off that. Let me keep this. Don't know what happened here with this chart. Okay. Keep this frame in gear. Alright, sorry about that. So here we have the channel. I'm sorry about that. So the top end of the channel is 207, so that's what I'm looking at on the upside. If it breaks above that, the upper Bollinger is at 220. If that happens, fantastic. If it doesn't happen, I still think we can make some money here till about 208. What's the downside? The downside is it breaks below 190 or 189, falls below to the lower Bollinger at 177. Anything can happen with Tesla, anything can happen with the market, but this is a very effective trading chart. Right now it's looking to go up to the upper bands, taking into account that the market cooperates. Internals are positive. Let's look at price line. Good old price line. Okay, here's the should we look at the daily chart? Okay, let's look at the daily chart here. The daily chart is somewhat resembles the NASDAQ chart, so I'm going to draw this. Went extremely well with price line from last Friday. Let me see why it's not sticking. Okay, we have a little problem here. Let me stop this video and we'll come back.